When I return to Washington today, we'll receive a request from those who were the victims of Hurricane Sandy. We expect it to be in the range of $80 billion. To put it in perspective, Hurricane Katrina was over $100 billion in terms of the losses there, and we anticipate each year $11 billion in expenses. So as you can see, the amount of money that we're setting aside for disasters in this country, all disasters, is inadequate to the actual challenge that we face. It means several things. First, we are going to take care of the victims of Hurricane Sandy. We respond to natural disasters across this nation and do it on an emergency basis as we should. And I will continue to support that. I've asked for it in the past when it affected our state. I will help those states that are victims today. Secondly, we have to, in the context of this budget discussion in Washington today, take a much more realistic view of what we're facing here. I called in experts from the insurance industry for a hearing last year, many of them in the property and casualty business, who said, we think the federal government is totally unrealistic when it measures the disasters that we anticipate, natural disasters, in the near future. They will be much more frequent and much more expensive. That is the reality of extreme weather events. We know the story here. You know, it wasn't that long ago that we faced a blizzard that closed down Lake Shore Drive, and flooding, which ended up blowing levees to make sure that the Mississippi and Ohio rivers were navigable. All of these things are taking place in real time, and it calls the third point up. We need to step back and take an honest look at what's happening in this world that we live in. If there is no measurable snow today, I believe it will set a record here in Chicago for the longest period of time without measurable snowfall. This change in the weather is the topic du jour. You can't meet a person on the street who doesn't say, can you believe the weather we have here in Chicago in December? And the same thing is true all around the state. We need to be thoughtful, and we need to address this issue. We've got to leave a better world for our kids and grandchildren. And it means taking an honest look at the global changes that are taking place in weather and these extreme weather events. We've got to literally clean up our act, and it means addressing some issues that are politically contentious but very important about global warming and climate change and what we do to this planet that we live on. We value this lake. When they asked people in Chicago a few years ago, what's the greatest thing about the city of Chicago, they said it's Lake Michigan. And right now this lake is facing some new challenges, the likes of which many have never been seen in history.